Alrighty, we are live. Incredible greetings, everyone. All right, there we go. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. Welcome, welcome in, everyone. So let me go ahead. I know I have to wait for the notifications to get sent out and see I am, it's on private. So let's go ahead and change this to public. And then let's share it out. All right, so just give me a moment. I am just sharing this out. Okay. There we go. All shared out. All shared out. All shared out. Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right, let's see. Who do we have on with us so far? Incredible morning. Thank you for watching from coastal Georgia. OMG, I'm finally where I can watch live. Hi, Kathy. Hopefully you're not too busy, and we will see you tonight for session 2 of Essential to Silhouette Studio, Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days, 2024 quarter 1 refresher. I know that's a whole lot of. I can't tell who it is because it just says Facebook user, but that means that you are watching from one of our Facebook groups. So welcome. Someone else. Hello, incredible morning, Cassandra. How art thou? Wow, I caught the live. I hope I get to see it all. I'm in a bad spot, but I am here. Yay. Hello, LaShonda. That's my city girl. Period. Let's see. She says, hello, creative peeps. Incredible morning. Don't forget to like the live, comment at least where you are watching from. Say hello, tag a friend, share it with a friend. Hey. How art thou? All right, so who do we have watching over here? Hello. Welcome in, everyone. All right, so going to get right into this. All right. Welcome, everyone. I am Shakia Lavelle, also known as Shakia the Professor in these creative, crafty, custom business streets. Okay. Digital, actually, in doing a lot of the tech stuff, it's going to be helpful for those who want to, create a digital product. So just knowing, selecting the right fonts, your layout, even though I teach from Silhouette Studio, it's going to apply in a wide variety of like programs. So tonight is going to be great for those who want to create digital products like planners or journals. Even just files. There's so many. You go on Creative Fabrica, go on Etsy, go on designbundles.net, things like, all these different sites. And there are tons and tons of files that are downloaded every single day that are nothing more than text. That's it. So we're going to dive into that tonight in my Essentially Silhouette Studio session. So if you guys are enrolled, look forward to seeing you guys at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But our company is HS Inc. 365. We are home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best sublimation ink and paper that allow you to make really cool things like my little mouse pad here that matches this tumbler. Okay. And you are able to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, 30 seconds. All right. You don't have to use high ink consumption. So with our paper, you are going to save on your ink use as well, and your ink will last a whole lot longer. Our bottles are 140 milliliters. So with the combination of the fact that our paper, you're using less ink, it's ink efficient. And we sell 140 milliliters with the ink. This will last you a really, really, really long time before you have to refill. We actually take pride in the fact that, you know, people come back for the paper, but they don't have to come back as often for the ink, especially if they're using an EcoTank printer, because that's 2 full refills of, like, on your cyan, magenta, yellow. The black is like a refill and a half, because in certain printers, some of them it is still 70, and then some of the bigger ones is like 120 or something like that. But you still get a lot of use out of it. So definitely check out our TikTok shop or our website, shop.hsink365.com. All orders before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time get shipped out the exact same day, Monday through Friday. After Friday, 3 p.m., they go out Monday if it's on a holiday. So this Monday is a holiday, so all orders after 3 p.m. on Friday up until Tuesday will go out on Tuesday, okay? We're also the home of Silhouettes Anonymous. That is my online platform that we curated now going on 10 years, 19 years ago, where I teach you, I've been teaching like how to use Silhouette Studio. Yes, it is the program that you use for the Cameo and portrait machines, like the Silhouette family of machines. But it actually is a really good, especially for beginners. And even if you're not a beginner, I do so much. I just created a shirt yesterday that my client picked it up, absolutely loved it. You can use it as a standalone designing software. And you can take those designs and be able to cut them with any cutter, be able to print them from any printer. I design in Silhouette Studio all the time, and then set the file up to have it sent to my roll-in to print, my sublimation printers, my pigment ink printers. Like, there is no limit. Just like Illustrator does not have a machine that is directly connected to it, or Corel Draw or Photoshop or anything like that. You just design in those and then you send it to your printer. So don't think just because you hear Silhouette Studio that you are limited to like you can only do it if you have a Silhouette Cameo machine or portrait machine. Anyone can download Silhouette Studio and use it for absolutely free. And if you want the upgrades like Designer, Designer Plus, and Business to unlock additional features, then you can do that. It's a one-time purchase for that. A link to do that is on our website. So you can go and check that out. So we have that, and we have tons and tons and tons and tons, like thousands of videos. If you ever go to our YouTube channel and you go under videos, there's, you know, some there, but under the lives. For the past like 3, maybe 4 years, I mainly do a lot of lives. Like here and there are some pre-recorded videos, especially on the Silhouette side. Anything as far as like full on demos on our second channel, Honestly Speaking, is pretty much live. I don't really do, I don't do any pre-recorded demos. I like for my audience to see the full process. If I mess up, if it takes forever in a day, because that gives you a realistic viewpoint to how long some of these projects will take. We'll watch, you know, some YouTube tutorials and things like that that are edited down, and you'll have this false sense of how long it takes to do something like socks or a tumbler, not realizing, you know, how much time it takes. And then when you go and do it, you're like, oh my gosh, this takes too long. But that's truly how long it took that person that did the video as well. They just cut that part out or sped it up. So I like to do mine live. That way my audience can ask questions. I do step by step. So I always kind of say I don't really do tutorials. I teach mini classes when I'm on YouTube and Facebook and things like that. So Honestly Speaking, you have to go under live and you have to go under lives in order to see it. If you go to videos, it's going to look like I have nothing on that channel. All right. And then we have 365 Creative Academy. That's our online virtual academy as of right now. Cannot wait to the day I can say that that is a physical academy where we teach you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of trainings, everything from Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, making the actual projects. We've done some business related things, memorials, party favors, banners, yard signs, graduation, like just a little bit of everything. It is where I really, really, really can share my 26 years of experience with my creative and crafty community. All right. That's a little bit about me. I like to come on and do these live sessions, one, to reach new people. So, in order to do that, although I am very, very grateful for everyone that has found me, and you love it here, and you come back and you click on that notification, because you know that if you listen in, you're going to get some helpful like tips and tricks and just get help. And you always learn something when you click on a professor video. I get that. I love it. Absolutely love it. But I come on almost every day, not just for you guys, but to reach newer, to reach new viewers who may not have ever seen me, know that how I teach. They've never heard me talk about sublimating tumblers in an oven. I love to ruffle feathers. Like every time, I stand 10 toes down on it. I have all of the science to back it. Just common sense and critical, just thinking about sublimation and justifying why you definitely can use the oven that you cook with. I love doing those. So if you're somebody that has heard me say it before, there will be a couple of times where I'm just going to come live and talk about that, because it gets a buzz going. And some people don't like when they see me post that I'm using my oven. I get so many responses. Oh my God, can you do that? Don't do that. That's just going to no. So I love it. So if you kind of see one and it's like over and over and over, it's talking the same thing, it's for the new people. It's not for you guys. I know you guys have heard it. Okay. But I like to do these live sessions just as a way to connect with my community, to reach new people, to answer any questions. I know everyone can't always join an actual paid class. So if I can help in any way, shape, or form, I like to come on and provide guidance and help, all right, and direction. So feel free to type your questions in at any point. If you are watching over on TikTok and you would like to jump in the box to ask your question, feel free to do so as well. I've learned a lot from you. I don't say much, but I'm watching you. You're one of the best. Thank you so much for that, Barbara. Did I miss anyone else? And I know I was looking this way. Hello to everyone. Ms. Easy was like, I don't really acknowledge people, but I'm not. When I'm just on TikTok, I can kind of see it better. And it goes so fast here. So know that I'm not overlooking anyone. If I see a comment, then I kind of can acknowledge it. But hello and welcome to everyone that has joined in over on TikTok. All right. Let's see. Incredible morning from Norfolk, Virginia, North Carolina in the building. Incredible morning. Incredible morning. How long will the live be? This one, or you mean the one tonight? Which one are you referring to? Incredible morning. Hello, hello, hello from Wisconsin. Thank you so much for tapping in. If I already have a different brand of ink in my machine and it's low, can I just add yours to it? Yes, you can. I just recommend waiting until it's low. So you don't have to, like, once you put one color in, do all of them. So you can wait until another one goes low. Like, it's still Sublimation ink. So you can technically, mix and match. Only thing I don't recommend that you do is don't switch out your ink in the middle of a multi-print order. So let's see. At one point I did a bunch of rags and I had to do 100 and some rags. And out of those, like, let me see, I think about half of them, so it's like 50 of them were all the same print. I wouldn't recommend changing inks in the middle of, like, let's say I was printing those and I was on like number 30 and I had to finish the rest, because there may be a slight difference as the ink is settling. So if I felt like I would not be able to do all 50, I would do maybe some different prints that weren't, that particular, like that same design. Print those out first And then right before I did the big order, or like the big print order, I would then fill in whatever color needs to be filled in. You don't have to do them all. So if your cyan is low, fill your cyan and let the other ones be whatever ink you have. Then once your yellow goes low, fill the yellow, and so forth and so on. Incredible morning, Professor. I am back from California and looking forward to the new classes. I am looking forward to it as well. All right. The Physical Academy is coming. Thank you from your lips to God's ears. Hello. Thank you for tapping in from New York, from Chicago. So it is okay to refill with a different brand of ink when your ink is low. Yes, it is. Most people, okay. So here's the thing with that, and why you may hear some people like not recommend it. It's more so because of the like your colors can be a little bit off. Not every not every ink is made the same. A lot of vendors, we do what's called, or like sellers of ink. It's basically private label, white labeling, to where there is a couple of factories overseas, whether it's in China, if it's in India. There's some that's, that say they make theirs stateside. Like it's produced here, and with all the big machine and all that stuff, it's made here. But regardless of what, it's not very many companies, and I don't think anyone that's not like a major corporation that is making their own ink. There, like I said, there's facilities that either you get it from directly from the factory, and there's also distributors overseas that they will get the ink from the actual makers. They put them in a bunch of like big drums, and in their facility, all they have are bottling equipment. They don't have the equipment to go and actually mix the ink, add the pigment, separate, like all that kind of good jazz. Yes, I have. This is how much I love ink. Like I have researched on how ink is made, where they source pigment from. That's how geeked out I get about printers and ink and all that kind of good jazz. But there are some companies that they just have bottling, and they're just going to have them in big drums, and they bottle it up. We design our label and we put it on there. The difference is the pigment that people put in. If you've noticed, some, they're really bright yellow, even though it's sub ink. Some is kind of a mustard yellow. Then you have some that almost looks green, like for a yellow. Each one of those will produce a different shade, a different tint. Magenta is another one of those. If it's a lot of pigment in it, you end up with a lot like major redness, even when you're using like a pigment ink printer. So it just varies, especially with the black ink. A lot of companies have not switched over yet. When Sublimation ink first came out, a lot of it was bright. It was brown. Like that was the standard. It was a brown ink that when you pressed it, it's black, right? You can somewhat still see like the brown tints and stuff under it. But over time, they've improved on that formula. We were one of the first ones to improve on that formula because I mixed inks, like different types of ink. There's like one that has like a blue undertone, a purple undertone, brownish undertone, red undertones. And so we kind of mix and match ours. So that's going to be one of the biggest differences in our ink, is that ours is not that kind of like rust brown, and it's a truer black, or it's like if you let it sit in the light too long, it'll never look like that rusty brown, but it can look like a really dark brown. For like once you kind of open it up, or for certain batches. But that's one of the big differences. But all of it at the end of the day is Sublimation ink. It's going to be the same. It's not going to clog. That's it. That's one of the biggest lies people say. Oh, if you mix the inks, it's going to clog. No, they are the same freaking consistency, the same density. So yeah, you can mix inks. Okay. You're not a slave to any one particular brand of ink. If the ink that you normally get, if they're sold out, why should your business suffer waiting for them to restock, waiting for us to restock when we go, we're sold out and we're waiting for our next shipment? Do what you need to do for your business, okay? Or your hobby, because not everyone does this for business. Incredible morning. How art thou? You are very welcome. All right, all right, all right. So no questions over here. Okay, I will. Like I said, this is an open Q&A. You guys definitely can ask questions, things that you inquire about. If you recently did a YouTube search and you feel like you didn't quite find the answer that you were looking for, now is a great time to post that same question. You know, even if it's the same way that you put it into YouTube, now it's going to be a great time to post that question so that you can get help in real time. All right. But I do, like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about like Silhouette Studio, Sublimation, print and cut, because those are some of the main things that I have been asked about. You sent me a DM. Okay. So I really, did I tell you, if I told you to send it, I feel bad because normally if I tell someone to send it, I'll probably check it within like a day or so of me saying to send it, but I really don't check my TikTok DMs. I suck really at any instant messenger. I prefer that people either email me or they leave a message on the website because I'm trying to get people out of my inbox. I'll feel kind of bad if I'm telling people if they inbox me on Facebook, hey, can you post that in my group or can you email it or whatever? But then I'm answering inboxes in other places. So I do apologize. I will definitely check that today. Or if it's a question that you can ask here, go ahead and ask that question here. Okay. Let me see. I don't even know if I can. I think my TikTok that's over here might be. Oh, come on. Why is it? I don't think that's the password for that. Um, which class is for learning how to print an image and then getting it to line up properly to cut my Cameo? Okay, wait. Which class is for learning how to print an image and getting it lined up to properly cut on my Cameo? I'm not sure. Okay, what is it that you're trying to cut? Because if you just design something and you just so you're trying to do, you want to just do a regular print and cut like for stickers or I don't necessarily have a class on print and cut. The Essentials of Silhouette Studio basically just teaches you Silhouette Studio. I have tons and tons of videos on YouTube that go over print and cut because there's really nothing major. I mean, you set it up. I've never had to calibrate. I don't do anything special. I do just make sure that my registration marks are as thick as they can be. And that's really it. Like, I don't do any. That's one of the ones that's kind of hard. And that's why it's part of the topic today is I don't do anything special to be able to do print and cuts. Nothing at all. I'll print a design, then I put it on my Cameo to cut. Sometimes it cuts part of it. Do you have the registration marks on? So with Silhouette Studio's print and cut, you cannot just print it out and then that's it. It has to have the registration marks, which I took that. That's the one thing that sucks about trying to do things in here. Last night I was in the other space and I took the print with me and I don't have it here. Nope, it is at the other table. I don't have that here at all. But you have to have registration marks. Okay, so no, you don't have the registration marks turned on. That is required for print and cut. All right. So let me go ahead and show that to you. Thank you so much, Sparkle, for sharing the live video. Let's flip this around. And then let's present screen. All right, we'll just use these lips. Group. Oops. Ungroup. Group. Oh, sorry. Haha, I didn't realize I hit my microphone. All right. So I was saying that you have to come over here. You have to have your machine set up to Cameo or just to a machine. If you don't, then you get that error message that was blue. Something I went to registration marks. So I set my machine to either auto or you can choose an actual machine from the list. You want to choose your mat. Then you want to choose. You want to select your paper size. Mine, I personally never touch here. I just type it in. Now, if it is a standard size that they have stored, it will change to that particular number. I mean, to that option. But for me, I never ever touch this. Some people will teach you to go to based off of like your printer. I don't do that either. I don't touch that at all. I just change right there where it says width and height. Once you have this, then you go over to your registration marks. See, now it's no longer grayed out and you don't have that blue warning at the top. So we're going to click on. And I go back over here. You can turn on your show cut border so you can know exactly where to put it at. And I'm going to come back over here. The only thing that I personally do is for thickness, I take it all the way up. I really don't understand the purpose of it not being as thick as it possibly can, because that doesn't change. You see, like it doesn't change the size of the restrictive area. You can only improve the accuracy by increasing the thickness. They give you the option of your like changing your length because maybe you'll have a really big design and you need more space. The smaller the length, the less accurate your registration can be. So I don't like to take mine below 0.6. It's normally 625 because that used to be the default. I don't recommend that you go below 0.5, but that is personal preference. Some people take theirs all the way out and they leave it just like that. If you're doing like stickers that have like an outline, a lot of the times it's not a big deal. But if you're ever cutting something right to the contoured edge, putting it that small can affect the accuracy. Okay. So me personally, I'm normally in the 6.25 range as far as my length. And that's just about it. You can mess around with the insets if you want, because that will push it out and give you more space, but you have to be mindful and be careful depending on which printer you have, because if your bottom registration mark does not print, then it won't register properly. But that's all that I like. That's literally all that I do. I do use Cricut mats with my Silhouette Cameo. So I have to, I always say, like, I call it calibrating my mat, but it's putting tape. I have a video on it. There's really not very much that I don't have a video on, and it's free on YouTube. And I just set my mat up. I set my mat up like this. So I know exactly where the machine is reading the edge of the paper, like where the edge of the media is. So it's set up that way. I can use both sides of this. So yes, I use Cricut mats with my cameos because I don't like Silhouette mats. I love the machines. I love the program. I don't like their mats at all. But that's all I do. So I don't have a specific class outside of make the cut. So when I did make the cut, which is like making your first no, not make the cut. Silhouette Studio first cuts. We went over print and cut. We had a whole little segment for print and cut. That would be the only one to where, we went step by step by step by step. So that would be first cuts. But you have to have that on in order for your in order for your prints to cut properly. Because come on. Shoot. I hate this thing sometimes. Hold on. Crap. Moving this stupid tripod back and forth is jacked up. Like, see, now I feel like I'm leaning. I don't know. Whoever, whatever. Okay, but I'll just jump to that part. Print and cuts. I got asked about this 2 days ago. Print and cut is for a lot of different things. Anything that you want to be able to print out from any printer. Silhouette Cameo is not a printer. So print and cut from my Roland, it literally it is a printer. So it prints it out. I don't need registration marks for my Roland because all the information is stored right there. So it prints it out. Then it, winds it back. It knows where the beginning point was, and then it will go and cut without any registration marks. Now, I can turn the registration marks on. Most time people are turning those on when they're going to take their vinyl out of, cut it off of the machine. They're going to laminate it, and then they need to be able to bring it back. So it needs to know where to register it. Anytime it's not an all-in-one system, you have to have some sort of registration marks on there so that the cutter knows where the beginning and end of that project is, and it'll know where to go and cut. So it may seem confusing for some when I'm doing print and cut on the Roland and you don't see registration marks, even though I'm designing in Silhouette Studio. So remember, Silhouette Studio is a design software. It's not what I'm using to send the print directly to the Roland. It's not what I'm using to cut it on the Roland. I simply set my design up in Silhouette Studio. I save it as a PDF. I then take that PDF over to Illustrator. I click on my top layer. I apply the cut contour, make it a line instead of a fill, and then I just hit save. That automatically makes it to where it has the print file, and then when I take it into what's called VersaWorks, it has red marching ants, and that's how it knows where to cut it. So I do design in Silhouette Studio and then take it over to VersaWorks. VersaWorks is not a design software. It's what's called a RIP software. It just holds the data for what to print in what print profile or color profile, and where to cut it at, what pressure, what depth, like what speed, all that kind of good jazz. So it's nothing more than a RIP software. And if I'm just printing it, it's just where you send it at to print it. It makes it a little bit easier to adjust your settings, adjust your quality. I technically can send a print directly from Silhouette Studio to the rolling machine because it is still a printer that's connected via USB. It will come up as a print option. You just won't get like all of the features of going through VersaWorks, but it is a printer. So that's maybe where some of the confusion comes in for someone. I'm like saying print and cut, or they see me do the rolling. But for everything else, if I wanted to send a print or I wanted my Caesar Romeo, I can create my design in Silhouette Studio. I don't apply Silhouette's registration marks. So I would just design it just like normal. Then I would go and save it. I would then take that saved file, open it in Caesar's RIP software, although it's still a design one, which is Leonardo Design Studio. From there, I would use their system to apply their registration marks. And then I have to send it to the printer from Leonardo Studio. One of the reasons why I will still design Studio, I'm comfortable with it. And with Leonardo, for certain features, you have to have the pro version. And their pro version is not like Silhouette, where it's a one-time purchase. It's a monthly purchase. And right about now, well, I'm going to go say right about now, even if I did, I'm going to say even if I did have it, there's no reason for me to pay $8.99. It's not my only cut machine. It's not my only design software. So I'm not going to pay that. I pay way too much for stuff that's useful. Like I pay monthly for Creative Fabrica, Vector Stock, Canva, Photoshop. I pay annually for Corel Draw, I think. I pay way too much monthly for a bunch of other things. I really don't need to pay monthly for the pro of Leonardo because I can do so much more in Silhouette Studio anyway. Save it, and then I can still open up, not the Silhouette file. So you can save it as, I save mine either as an SVG or a PDF, and then I'm able to open it up. That's what I do. Okay. But I would print from their system and then load it onto the mat and then go through all the stuff for it to read it. You have, no matter which printer you are using, if there's going to be a break in printing it and then cutting it directly, you have to have registration marks. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay. So that was where some of the confusion was coming in at. Hopefully that clears it up. Anyone have any questions about print and cut? Before I just go into some of the things that you can actually make with print and cut. Any questions? This is driving me nuts because this is so low. Hold on, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, crap. I just broke it off. Hold on, y'all. Okay, it's going to look crazy. Y'all going to see the ceiling because it just popped off. So y'all are going to see this. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to have you see the ceiling. I'll have you guys look at this shirt from yesterday. There we go. Oh, crap. I have no charger in here. That was moved to the other room yesterday as well. Give me a second. I got to go get my charger. Alrighty. I'm back. Okay. So since I walked over there, this is what it should look like. You should see a full square here, a registration mark on this side, and one at the bottom. If you are doing like how I did this, which was sublimation onto like the shirt that you guys just saw, that is sublimation to satin HTV. So with that, you cannot mirror your print settings. I mirror the design, but I don't mirror the registration marks. So I printed normal, but I flipped horizontally my design so that it prints out where my registration marks will read, but my design is still mirrored so that I can put it onto the satin. Or if you plan to press it directly to it and then do print and cut, you leave your design regular, you mirror the entire print because you're going to put it down and press it onto the material first, and then you're going to take that material, put it on your mat, and then cut it out. So there's technically two different ways to do that project for this shirt. All right. And then on my rolling, this had no registration marks, and this was printed onto glitter. So yeah. Okay. Let's see. As long as I have been watching you, I should know the answer to this question. Do you have a video explaining how to calibrate the silhouette? No, I do not, because I've never had to. I've done it myself, but it's kind of, I've never had to do it. I did it, I think, once a while ago. I didn't do it in like a video, but I've never had to. Unless your Cameo has really been like kicked around, bumped around, like all this stuff, most times it's not calibration. You do not calibrate for regular cuts. Calibration is only for print and cuts, and if it is off. And it's really self-explanatory, like when you like go to the calibration. So it basically just prints out. You have to send it to a printer. It prints out a bunch of crosses, like crosshairs. And then it tells you to use your arrows and put the blade like in certain quadrants. And then you just hit test, and then you're trying to get it to cut on the line. For most people, it actually does cut like on, like it'll find it, whatever, and then it'll cut it. That's really all calibration is. It's for print and cut. It is not for regular cuts. But I have never done a video on it because it's pretty straightforward when they, you go to the setting and it tells you what to do. No questions. All right. So print and cut, how it's different than Cricut's print then cut. When it comes to Cricut Design Space, actually, you know what? And I meant to check to see, because I don't know if I misspoke the last time. So I want to make sure that I did say that correctly. So let me pull Cricut Design Space up. But with Cricut Design Space, you have to flatten it, which basically means you're making it a JPEG or like PNG, kind of the equivalent of that. You have to flatten it in order for it to be considered a print then cut. Silhouette Studio, that is not a requirement. You don't have to save it as a PDF, as a PNG or a JPEG, and then bring that back in. That was also a question I got recently, or inquiry, saying, did you have to have business edition in order to do a print and cut so that you can save it as a PNG or JPEG first? No, whatever is on your screen, whether it's, a combination of images or JPEGs or pictures or PNGs that you brought in, if it's text that you typed out and filled with color, if it's shapes that you created and filled with color, if it's an SVG that you brought in, if it's a PDF that you brought in, if it's an embroidery file that you brought in and it has color, it does not matter. Whatever it is, if it has color and it's on your design page, all you have to do is hit print. If you want it to be a print and cut, you just turn on your registration marks. But you can use Silhouette Studio as just a standalone, just to send things to print, whether it's to a sublimation printer, if it's to a pigment ink printer, a dye-based printer, a laser printer, it does not matter. You can send it directly to print from Silhouette Studio, okay? So it has nothing to do with, if it's not print and cut, it has nothing to do with calibration. So if it was cutting above the grid, it's probably because you either had it on a mat, but did not have a mat selected in Silhouette Studio. So with the newer versions of Silhouette Studio and the newer machines, it goes by what you have in the system. So my original Cameo and my Cameo 2, does Cameo 3 have it? I don't think it does. I think the 3 is where you just load it in. But the 1 and the 2, you tell it, load mat or load media. If I'm not mistaken, the 3 and the 4, it just goes off whatever you have on the screen. You don't have that option. So if you put it on a mat, but you don't have a mat selected, it's going to send it as if you are cutting with no mat. And when you're cutting with no mat, it doesn't account for that gap at the top. So it's going to immediately start cutting. So that's the difference in that. It has nothing to do with calibration. Let's see here. All right, let's go and bring this on the screen. All right. So this is all, basically like an SVG. So if I select all this and I go flatten, so you can't unflatten it. That's what the part I wasn't sure if you could or could not. So once you flatten it to make it a print and cut, you can go back in and hit unflatten and it will give you all of your, so you can, fluctuate back and forth between the two. That was the only thing that I wasn't sure of because I don't really use Cricut Design Space like that. But yes, it does have an unflatten. So you would go design all this up. You would flatten it. That instantly makes it a print and cut. Okay. And then if you go make it, to go print. But if you want it to change colors on something, I can unflatten. And then I can go into here and I can change the color. So if I was doing it and I wanted to give a purple basket and I wanted to change the candies to a different color, I can do that. Then I can select it. I can flatten it to make it a print then cut. And then I can unflatten it. But you have to flatten it for Cricut Design Space. Silhouette Studio, you do not. All you do is put your design there and then you go print. Okay, that's it. I forgot. It was something I was going to say, but I don't remember. But yeah, anywho, it'll probably come back to me. But things that you can do, print and cut, it's like, I'll have people say, oh, I want to learn print and cut. I'm like, okay, but to do what? And, I just want to be able to do print and cut. I'm like, there are so many different things that you can technically do print and cut for. I mean, you can do print and cut on paper for large cutouts. That's one of the main things that I got it for originally. You can make cake toppers, cupcake toppers. You can make custom boxes that already have all of the design on it, and you just print it out, you cut it, and then you just assemble it. You don't have to like do it from cardstock and then do like the little panels and then put that on there. You can do like I end up doing a print and cut for the project that I did yesterday, which I don't know what happened to it. I thought I brought it over here. Oh, I guess I brought the wrong one, but I did that. Like I said, I did a print and cut for that. You can do a print and cut of stickers for your business. If you want to sell stickers like sticker packs, you can do the print and cut on it, and you can either pre-read it or they can just peel the stickers off. You can do print and cuts for Jet Pro 3G. You do a print and cut for Caesar's DTV. You do a print and cut for EconoSub, or it's one of the ways that you can do it for EconoSub, satin, flock, fabric, and vinyl. You can do a print and cut for like where you're actually going to cut something. If you want it, I used to like making paper roses. So if I wanted to have my petals have a print inside of it, I'm going to set all of my petals up. I'm going to fill it in with a pattern, and then I'm going to do a print and cut of those so that I can then make a paper flower. It's no limit. There's no one particular thing that print and cut is used for. It's just that anything that you do where you need to print it and you don't want to hand cut it, that is print and cut, no matter the media. Okay. So I think that's it on print and cut. I'm going to buy a Cameo so I can learn from you. Well, Octavius, you don't have to necessarily buy a Cameo. You can learn the software. You can learn to design in it, but probably be really easy for you. If you're looking for some sort of cutting machine, then, if you need something like that, then yeah, you can get a Cameo. If you're looking for 12 to 15 inches, if you would like a larger one, I would highly recommend the Caesar Romeo. Of course, y'all never hear me ever utter to get a Cameo 24-inch, a Cameo Pro. But the Caesar's Romeo, the 24-inch cutter, great one. You can design in Silhouette Studio if that's what you're used to, and then just take the file over to Leonardo for it to cut. But you don't have to get a machine in order to learn from me. We teach designing in the I use it as a design tool. I feel like designing is the foundation for any creative business, custom business, craft business, or a hobbyist. Knowing how to set up designs, either design them from scratch or just how to set them up, how to get the right placement, how to get the right sizing, is the foundation for all the stuff that we do. I choose to use Silhouette Studio because it's probably one of the most versatile free softwares out there. Like when you're talking completely free. All right. Now, I like to do these sessions based off of questions, guys. And I require engagement. I know you're sitting back. You're probably learning a lot. Probably just learned a lot about print and cut. But I am one where I definitely thrive off of engagement. Engagement also helps the platform. So do I have to do, I always feel like it's kind of cheesy. So, saying stuff like I'm not that person that's going to be like, for this topic. All right. So we want to learn about print and cut. I need everybody put print and cut in the comments. Everybody right now, put print and cut in the comments. It's like, that's so unnatural for me. I just like to teach, but your comments does help. So we'll do it that way. If you learned a lot, if it was helpful, the tips on print and cut, put print and cut in the comments. Yeah. Let's see if we can get some engagement that way. It's just weird to me. With that, I'm not great at that. If that's what it takes, I'll probably never, ever be, I'll probably never see the engagement that I want, because that is something that is really, I'll probably have to really think about that. Like all of these terms to say, okay, if you're ready, put this in the comment, put that in the comment. I just feel like that's unnatural. So for print and cut, how would you set it up for kiss cut versus die cut? Kiss cut versus a die cut, meaning it's going all the way through. The only difference is your settings. So you want it to not just scratch the surface. If you want to scratch the surface, that's having a lower blade, like a lower blade depth and not as much force. And if you want it to be a die cutting, you want it to cut all the way out, then you increase your force and you increase your blade depth. That's the only difference. See, I can't even get that. No one writes it in. There we go. Print and cut. Your explanation is great. Print and cut, but I have never done it before. And that's the thing. I feel like when you do that, you're forcing people to like make comments that doesn't apply to them. Like it's so weird, but the engagement helps. It helps push. I told you in the beginning, I am here for all of my loyal followers, supporters, but I do not come on live for y'all. Like some of you guys have been watching me for years. I'm literally at this point repeating. Y'all have to be tired of hearing my voice. Because a lot of times I'm just repeating things I have said over and over and over again for the past 9 years. I come on here to reach more people, and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok are not going to push me out so that new people can find me if you guys are not engaging and saying, hey, this is valuable. I get it. Y'all always say, I learned something. I love this. But how do people go know that Shakia is doing the damn thing if y'all don't engage? I find that there are many people who need to learn how to do basic designs in some of these groups. Some people ask for files for most of the basic stuff. So it is a combination of two things. For a good majority, it is a lack of knowledge and not knowing how to do these things. And for some, it might seem easier to, like, if there's a file already made. For some, it's a convenience thing. I'm not going to say that, I don't. All right. So Shar, I keep seeing it come up, but I think you are posting somewhere where it's not coming up in the chat. Like I see, if you're on this live, I got to go back and see where the notifications are coming from. Hi, just joined your live for the first time. I've been a follower for the last year. Awesome. Thank you so much for following the page. But Shar, if you're watching this, I'm waiting to see here because I can see the notifications on my phone. And I saw something that said print and cut. So I assume that you're watching one of the videos, but for some reason, it's not showing up on the feed here. So it says commented on my post. Let's see. Yeah, you're in the group, but I don't know. For some reason, it's not showing up. Okay. No, I know why. It's a shared post. I'm not going to see that. So what you have to do, you have to actually click on the video to go to the actual video. That's just a shared post. I'm not going to see any of those comments on screen. Luckily, they came up over here because I didn't want you to feel like I was skipping over your question. So it says, I'm hunting for one on sale because I need the larger size print and cuts. The print and cut issues I had was with the Cricut, so not sure if it would be the same. The print and cut issues as far as like size, is that what you mean? Your print and cut issues with the Cricut or accuracy? Which one was it? But yeah, for some it's like convenience, but there are things that are like really, really simple and basic. The other, well, I'm gonna say other part. So another part, because you can't say the other because that means like only two. So another part of it is many beginner crafters or creatives will see a design and think that it has to be exactly like that. They think that their clients want it exactly like that. And they are afraid to try a different font. They may know how to use the system, but because they don't have that exact font in their computer, they rather find the original file or someone selling it. And anyone can make any file, any font. Of course, you want to, of course, check the trademarks, all that stuff. But that's a story of another day. But it's a couple of things. And yeah, some people just don't know the basics. They don't realize that they can do certain things themselves. A lot of these groups won't allow me to even post a video. I don't know if they're afraid because I have a Facebook group. I'm trying to poach people to mine, but I just like to help. And if you're not able to do a video, like what's, or someone, you're not going to allow someone to do a video, then how is your group helpful? But, that's a story for another day. Like someone was asking for a Tumblr design of Hello Kitty, of Hello Kitty's head on a pink background. I feel bad. Okay, now so that one, because you can go onto Google, you'll find one, knowing how to just trace and detach, put a pink background, and boom, that's it. Yeah, something like that is it is kind of. I do feel that way too, and I'm always trying to answer it, but it's harder to type out that that much information, or when you type it out and someone's reading all of that text, in their mind they process it as being too complicated versus being able to see a quick video where it's like boom, boom, and boom. I don't know where they're at. I wish they would actually post in my group, because in my group they can get a video, but I don't get people to post like questions like that in my groups. I have no idea why. Still can't quite figure it out. But if y'all see them, tell them they're more than welcome to come over to either Saleaholics Anonymous or Honestly Speaking, ask that question, and they can get a whole video. Thickening the thickness was a helpful tip for me. Very helpful, print and cut. Hi, I just saw that from the other one. But welcome to the live. I have not learned how to use shortcuts. I see charts, but when I do say copy, Control G, and then I click on pieces. Okay, so Control G is group. So Control C is copy. Control G is group. And for group to work, you have to have more than one thing selected to actually group them together. So it's just making sure that you're using the correct keyboard shortcuts. In my 30-day training, I have the keyboard shortcuts, and I highlight the ones that I use very often. And that's probably where you can start at and familiarize yourself. And it's only the same no matter which software you're in. Like Control C, Command C, copy, Control C, Command G, group. Alt is a quick way, Alt or Option click and move is a great way to duplicate something. I'm trying to think. Well, in Silhouette Studio, Control E, make compound path, Control D, select, deselect. Like they're really universal across design softwares. You helped me learn Silhouette, and that has helped me to learn Photoshop. I do love your Photoshop videos on YouTube. Thank you. I tell people all the time, I teach Silhouette Studio as the gateway, and here's the proof. It helps you learn the more robust, like the more advanced softwares, because you've gotten past some of those like beginner kinks. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, wow. Oh, that's the way. How art thou? Incredible morning. It helps you get past some of those beginner kinks, like learning about text, learning about grouping, learning about alignment. Like you can learn that in a free program. That way, when you get to something like Photoshop, there are so many other amazing tools, like your layer style, learning to emboss, add glows, drop shadows, patterns, gradients, being able to do layer mask and mask things off, smart objects, smart colors, where you don't have to go in and like click on everything and like change it. You can select something, put it to where that section has a smart color. You go and whatever you change that color to, everything changes. So that's where Photoshop really, really shines. Silhouette Studio is, okay, let me at least learn how to put these together, how to align things. That's what we're going to do tonight. Tonight is text. We're going over text to path. Even though cropping is not until next week, we're going to have a soft introduction at the end of the text one, because we're going to do text, crop to text. So how to crop backgrounds and things like that. And then next week we go over cropping, like everything with subtracting, cropping next week. But we're going to learn about alignment, about spacing, changing your fonts, modifying your fonts, releasing compound paths to change out the middle. So all of these things will be taught tonight. at 6:30 p.m. If you are already enrolled in Essentials of Silhouette Studio, you don't have to pay anything extra. We decided to add on the refresher trainings because we did this training in 2022. No need for me to really recreate it and do a whole of 30 days. I told y'all I will never do 30 days straight again. That ish was draining. But I can do refreshers. You still need to watch the original content because it's going to be more detail in there. But this allows you to come into sessions. We're going to basically review it. You can work along with me, ask questions in real time. So every Thursday is the actual refresher session at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every Wednesday it's a lunchtime live, 1 p.m. is a study hall session. The first one, it was a bit long. The rest of them will not be that long. Okay. I'm telling y'all now, don't expect a full 2-hour session for study hall. Study hall is 45 minutes to an hour. But Terry and Baby Jean were like on it, and we went over the design I was just creating and trying to figure out anyway, but the rest of them won't be that way. But your study hall is where you can come in, and if something was not quite clear or you missed the last session, if you watch the video, you can come in and ask questions. It's open to anybody that is enrolled in Essentials of Silhouette Studio. Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. All right. Whether you signed up 2022, if you go and you sign up right now, it is $103.65 if you just do it straight out. If you need to use the buy now, pay later option, it is $115.63, $365, forwards or backwards, all of our prices. Really easy to remember prices around here. But you can do Sezzle. It comes out to about like $25, $26. So it's under $30 in 4 payments if you need to use Sezzle. But if you're someone that wants to really elevate your designs, especially before the big craft seasons, graduation and Mother's Day. I know a lot of people are, trying to do a lot for Valentine's Day, but grad season and Mother's Day are some of the biggest ones for crafters and those who sell customized handmade products. So if you want to get a jump on that and be able to customize your designs, even if you buy a template that already has a design on it, you need to know how to properly size it, especially for tumblers, because not all tumblers are the same size. You have to remember that a designer is going to make that template based off of the tumbler that they use. So if their tumbler is a little bit shorter, but a little bit wider than yours, you go to use that and it doesn't line up. So now here you go feeling like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And it's not you. No one has ever explained to you that all of them are different. And then you have to know how to go in and how to change it up. Also, how to being okay with if it's not proportionally the same, that you're not going to be able to keep all of the design without it looking stretched or squished, or you're going to end up cutting some things off. But if you've never did any guided training, because if you're looking for YouTube videos, most times you're looking for a video based off of what you want to know, not the things that you need to know. You come to any of my classes, you're definitely going to get more than what you want to know, what you need to know, because I understand that some people just don't know that they need that information. So definitely try to get into a class that is guided with it's a guided class, and it has an instructor that looks beyond just the beginner stuff and prepares you for the things that are to come. All right. So let's see. All right. Know when the actual design. Shar, I have no idea where that came from, because I know your other question, but I'm thinking about your other post, but it doesn't tie in for me. So I'm not sure if one got lost in translation and you maybe commented again. So can you rewrite that comment so I can put it all together? Because now I'm lost. California in the building. Welcome. Oh, you over here dropping mad gifts, Dwayne. Thank you for the 38 roses. All right. I wanted it to cut out certain parts in the design, but it wasn't cutting. That's one where the same group that you were in, I need to see a visual. because that can mean so many different things, right? So let me see what's here. Okay. I'll take this one, for example, right? If I wanted this middle part, the professor taught me to be incredible, and I wanted it to be one big sticker, right? There's an outline here. There's words on the inside. I need to take this entire thing and set it to cut edge so that it doesn't cut any of the words inside. So I want to be able to cut that, right? If I wanted to cut the outside, but then I also wanted to cut, like I wanted the individual vinyls or wanted to cut it from paper, I set it up, I weld it. Oh, that's another thing that we're going to talk about, with cutting text and stuff like that. That's overlapping because it's not just script fonts. Oh, I hear so many tutorials and they only mention weld for script fonts. There are so many fonts that naturally overlap. And if you don't weld them, when you go to cut it, you're going to end up with cuts in between those letters. So you would separate this and cut it. Separate taught me, cut it. Or you can even cut taught me and the K together. Then you can do and then there's the yellow right here. So you can cut all the yellow together, or you can cut them separately and then you can piece them together, glue them. So that's all in how you set up your cut settings. There is no cut, cut, and cut edge, and they all do something different. We had a great representation. Look, I'm telling y'all, if you did not attend the study hall session yesterday, please go to your dashboard, click on the live stream link for that playlist and save it and watch it. We went over a lot between Terry and Miss Bevy Jean. Oh, they were coming through with the come through. Terry emailed me her questions beforehand, baby. So it was full, and I do mean full of information. A little under 2 hours of great information and things like that, like seeing if you do cut edge versus cut, if you have a bunch of things on your screen. So if you have not watched it, take some time today before class or sometime this week, the weekend, and go and watch it. All right. I watch YouTube on my TV while I work, so I can only comment if I watch from my phone. Hopped on my phone just to say that, and to say I appreciate the time you give to teach. That's it. Like, I didn't even think about that. That some people are watching on like devices like that. If it pops up, you're watching on your TV. Thank you so much for that. See, I can be a little bit more understanding. Somewhat. It's still some folk that can comment. Okay, I got to understand a few people. Cricut is definitely not my friend. I downloaded Silhouette Studio and ended up buying a Cameo 4, and I love it. You are the bomb. Thank you so much, Rosa. Yes, you know your stuff, and you are easy to follow. Y'all trying to make me blush today? Oh, y'all so sweet. Okay, I gotta take this off now. The Zoom tonight will be right on time. I'm tasked with coming up with a design for a Flintstone-inspired baby shower shirt. I located a font on CB. What's that? I know CF, Creative Fabrica. So I need to try to put professorism to it. Okay. We do have a Photoshop class. So it is essentials to Photoshop. And I basically break down Photoshop. I have been asked time and time again, will I ever do a Photoshop kind of like the 30 days? And it's way too many to go through the tools and functions of Photoshop. It's really hard. So I have been working to try and figure out like the most important tools and maybe do something kind of sort of like the 30 days where there's worksheets that you can follow along with. Well, it's like downloads that you can follow along with. So that is something me and the team are working on, but we do have essentials to Photoshop. To be honest, I don't design like, okay, so my shirt. So this is all text. So I intentionally wore a shirt that had all text other than Dr. King's face. So I like text. I like doing stuff like offsets and things like that. there's really no need for me to do that in Photoshop. I like text-based designs. So like a design like this, I'm not going to necessarily go to Photoshop to design it. I'm not really big. Every designer is different. So I'm not really big on all of the splashes and watercolors and stuff like that. It's very rare that I'm designing a memorial shirt with the Stairway to Heaven and pearly gates and wings. And if I do need to do that, I can do it in Silhouette Studio. I like to go to Photoshop, my thumbnails, anything that I need like a template for that I can just change stuff out, my thumbnails, for my videos. That way it stays consistent. Oh, obituaries. I definitely, Silhouette Studio would never be able to handle how I do obituaries. Oh, it could never, with that many pictures. So stuff like that. And like small elements. So I like to teach just the basics. I'm not going to be that person that's going to teach you how to do full on designs in Photoshop at this time. So, but Essentials of Silhouette Studio is there. So we did talk about it before. When you say calibrate your Cameo, are you doing print and cuts? If you're not doing print and cuts, you don't need to calibrate. If your Cameo hasn't been on a truck and went bumpity bump and it's moved around, if it's been sitting on the shelf, 9.65%. I can 9.65 out of 10. There we go. You don't need to calibrate. You just need to set up your print and cut properly. And if you go back to the beginning of this video, we talked about that. I have a Cameo too. That is the best, the absolute best machine that Silhouette America has ever made. Protected with your life, okay? Never sell it, never get rid of it. Nothing else compares to the Cameo 2. I don't care what anyone says. Nothing compares to that machine. Okay, but now, oh, it has a problem with the print cut. Wait. No. You don't need to upgrade it. I promise you. It's probably not as bad as you think, because out of all of mine, if I'm a little bit off, or like with my Cameo, not my Cameo, my Cricut mat, I don't technically have to have a calibrated mat for my Cameo 2. I can put it anywhere on that Cricut mat and it's like it goes and it searches for it. I don't have like really any issue, like major issues. So it's probably something else with it. Unless your optical eye has somehow gone bad, it's probably something that's an easy fix or maybe user error. But that is one of the best machines ever to be made. Ever. You can always go back and watch the playback, even if you miss it. Remember, all classes have double recording, so you can always go back and watch the playback. If you want to get a used Cameo, what's the best one and what's a good price? I can't tell you what a good price is because I can't tell someone what value to put on it. And it also depends on which one. For me, I'm always on the hunt for another Cameo too. Some people don't really care for that because they do want the double blade carriage. I don't use sketch pens. I don't need a double blade or a double tool carriage. So for me, a 2 is going to always be the better one. It's the quietest one. That 3 is loud, is all freaking get out. The 4 is slightly better than the 3 as far as how loud it is, but my 2 is the best. Some people will probably feel like it cuts too slow, but I'm like, what's the rush? Like, why are we rushing? Like, you let it do its thing. It's great. So I'm going to say a 2 if you can find it, but I'm also not going to say what's the best price, because whatever that person put on it, the price they put on it, it's about you. What value do you put into it? Because if it was me and me searching and it came to where somebody was damn near charging full price for a Cameo 2, Shakia would probably purchase it because I want one that bad. But I'm gonna try and find one that's a little bit less. But I'm never gonna pay more than market value for it. That ain't rare like that. It ain't worth to pay more than market value, like the original cost. But I would be willing to pay the original cost for a 2 because I personally feel like it's worth it. It's valuable to me. It may not be valuable to you. Are the study halls say yes? Nothing I do is not saved. Nothing I do is not saved, except for TikToks. Stand the man. How art thou? Y'all, do y'all know who that is? Do you know who T-shirt side hustle is? If you don't, now, if you're a little sensitive, you may not want to go over there. But if you want the male version of me, go holler at Stan's YouTube channel. I love my 3, but I also have the 4. Some people love the 3 because that's where they were introduced to it at. I have all 4 generations and I can't stand my 3. I agree the Cameo 2 is the best. Yes, I have a 3 and it is loud. I was like, is this normal? I brought it used. Yeah, even it's just loud. It's that was the loudest machine ever. I was like, what the? And I hate the tap, 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 tap. I use my ratchet blade. I do not use that tapping crap from, I can't stand the auto blade. I hate it with a passion. Don't laugh. You know it's true. You know it's true. Okay. I have a Cameo 4 Plus, and so the bigger the machine got for Silhouette, the louder it got. Like, I'm not even, if you look at the size of the 2 and the original, and then you look at the 3, they made this sucker huge and it got loud. The 412 to me is not that loud, but the 15-inch and that Pro, the bigger the machine, the louder it got with the Cameo. Yeah, so if you're going to use it, I only use manual blades, and you just set it to manual blade and it doesn't tap, but you just have to remember to adjust the setting yourself. I have 2 and 3 and use the 3 yet. Wait. Oh, I have never used the 3, but I've had it for years. 2 is the best. I agree. Yeah. I'm telling y'all, the 2 is the greatest. For me, my 1s, I love them because where like people were having issues with the 2 is once they went to the screen and everything on there, like you control it through touch screen, and it wasn't protected. So if something fell on that screen, you basically lost all control. Like you could not do anything with the machine because it was touch screen. So with the 3, they did this whole thing where they made a lid that covered the screen, thinking that that would help with that issue because so many people were having issues like where they had their machine at, or their kids would drop something, it'll hit the screen and then it's like, and they don't have like they don't have a repair center repair option for stuff like that. So they end up figuring like, oh, well, we'll protect the screen. Who in the heck cuts with the thing open? Like, no one does. But I guess they figured most of the accidents happen, or maybe through their research, most of the accidents happen when it was not in use. But with the original, it has buttons. So short of liquid spilling on that and messing up the motherboard, even if your screen doesn't work, you can literally hear how you're supposed to do everything. So if you go to load, you just have to, you're about to load. It's a middle button, so you can kind of hit it. It's like this long turn. So for the mat, it's like, eh. So if you're loading a mat, you're listening for that sound. If you are loading just media, it's like, eh. So if you have a mat and you hear, eh, then you just hit the middle button to unload it, and then you just hit the arrow, and that automatically makes it to where it goes to load mat. And so I'm like, look, the originals are no brainer for me. I love a good button. And then the 4, I was like, so you just gonna put all of the functions as lights. So if something happens and the light goes out on this, I actually did y'all know I'm a researcher. I tried to research how long that light is supposed to last, because I'm like, don't no light lasts forever. So if that light goes out, how am I supposed to know where the hell to click at? How sensitive is it? If I get a crack on it, is it kaput? So my 4 is like, I like it for teaching. So I don't use it as much as I probably like could or whatever, because I only have one of them, because it's just for teaching purposes. I mainly use my 1 and my 2 because I feel like they're just a little bit more durable. I'm always afraid about something happening or I'll trip. I'm clumsy. So I'm going to trip on something. Something going to fall on it. And that little area is going to crack and it's not going to work anymore. Yeah. I'm glad that I think the new one has some sort of cover on it. I think that's how the 5 is. Where can you buy Cameo 2 from? Some of everywhere. I mean, I got mine, I think, through OfferUp, but some people sell them on OfferUp, some people sell them on eBay, some people sell them on marketplaces. Some people have said they have found them in thrift stores because people either got it as a gift, and then so you just have to look all over it. It's no like one particular place. Have you ever cut without a mat? I have. I don't prefer to cut without a mat. Even if I need to, I've done 10-foot runs and I still technically put them on a mat. No, you can't set it up that way. The setting is no mat, but I still put it on there because Silhouette Cameo's tracking is not the greatest. So it can like move. I put my machine on the floor. I don't let gravity be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. And I just let it cut. I don't like for it to fall over a table or something like that, because the gravity pull with the Cameo, your ish gonna be moving and grooving. And I also never cut edge to edge when I'm cutting with no mat. But for the most part, I put my stuff on the mat. Yeah, I put my stuff on the mat. Still using my original Cameo and the original portrait, and they are going strong. Working on orders now with both. With my MacBook, and the latest software version in Business Edition Silhouette Studio is Boss. Yeah, and you don't really like. I love the fact that with all of like we didn't lose the ability to use our machines, right? So as they have gone up, they could have easily said, we don't want to support these older machines, and try to force you. I probably shouldn't give them ideas. Force you to get a newer machine to be able to use all the newer features. But that's one of the things that I do love about the company is they made it where you could still use your original, even with the upgraded programs. I think that's also that's amazing. A lot of people love the fact, I think she said, like with the Mac, when you're talking about other RIP softwares like cutting machines and other cutters, they don't have a Mac interface. You have to do like parallel, or you have to have like a small separate laptop or computer to run them. So a lot of, even major creatives, when it comes to using a die cut or a plotter machine, they like the Cameo because it's a full graphic designing one, but you can use it from Mac and Windows. Yes, all of my classes are always on Zoom. I don't do was it Facebook group type classes. Everything that I do is via Zoom. Okay, you found the study hall. It's in the same one. So the top one is the refresher, like the new Thursday classes, and then the next one is the study hall one. Oh, whoa, we're at an hour and a half. I am about to get off. Hello, Joey. Hello, Teresa. I'm about to hop off because we are an hour and a half in. I have some prep work to do for essentials. I had to think about what I was doing. I also have to prep my email and things like that. I probably will be back just as a reminder, because people, I was like, oh man, I missed it again. So I'll probably be back just as a reminder that class starts at 6:30. All right. So wait, I could just listen to your lives on repeat. I learned so much from you. Where can I find your course offerings? Great question. I was actually about to go into that before I got off of here. All right, so let's go over Yonza. That is where we were going to end at. Let's flip it. All right, so on our website, shop.hsink365.com is where you can enroll in most of our classes. When it comes to the new design program, which I know I keep saying like next week, it's always like so many things. Like I'm trying to do the classes, but then I ended up with a bunch of like custom orders. That's one of the reasons why I don't do as many custom orders anymore, because it's really hard to split the time. I have help, but they are not physically here. So it's not like getting the help on the physical stuff that I have to do, even helps sometimes. And I don't advertise it enough. So it's not like I'm doing consistent sales of my custom items to really warrant getting a full-time like help or assistance on that. Once I kind of set everything up and get everything situated, and that's going to be its own entity, that's when we'll kind of hire staff to be able to make the shirts, because we're trying to do bigger contracts and bigger orders and not just kind of onesies and twosies. But it's really, really hard. But I've had quite a few custom things. Like I had to design a brochure and some posters for a wedding cake baker. I had 4 different shirt designs that I had to do. I'm in the process of designing someone's logo. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and I keep trying to finalize all the stuff, but their stuff is time sensitive. So it's coming. I promise it's coming. It still will end up being 3 months. Even if I start in February, it won't be the first quarter. I'll have to go from February, March, and April. Regardless of what, it's coming as far as the master's, the bachelor's and master's like designing program for learning to design and put designs together. It is totally different from essentials, guys. It is not the same. Designing and learning a program is not the same thing. It is not the same thing in any way, shape, or form. Okay. But that's going to be the only thing that you're going to have to do over directly on the Academy site, so that you can set up your monthly membership fees or whatever, or program. Yeah. You just have to set it up and pay for it monthly over there. But over here, anything that's a standalone class can be found here on our website. So the crash course is still there. We have all of our design challenges. If you've never taken a class with me, you want to get a feel for how that experience is going to be when you're in a live class with me, what it's like to know that you can unmute and ask your question. If need be, you can share your screen. If you're getting stuck, like that's where our classes shine, and being a part of the Zoom sessions. You learn from everybody that's in the room. Definitely check out the design challenges. They are absolutely amazing. This one right here, I can't even turn y'all. Sorry, TikTok. I can't even really move y'all. But that design challenge number 5, top tier, all for $5. But that's how you can just kind of test it out and see if I'm the right instructor and teacher for you. And then Essential Silhouette Studio is here. So it's under the featured products. But if you go up to 365 classes and playbacks, all of the ones that are currently available, because some things have been retired, we put them basically into a vault. Not that you can purchase it, we just archive them. So everything that is currently available is under that particular tab right there, and any new classes. So the new Shopify class is coming up. As far as like a la carte classes, we have Shopify. We have, what's the other? We have another SVG class that's coming up. Like it's a single like a single session class. It's another one. I know Shopify, Vectors. I've gone back and forth on whether or not I want to do one for grad season. I'm still debating on that, but that's where you will find any of those classes. Any programs, memberships will be directly on 365 Creative Academy, which you can get to from going right there. That's how you get directly to the Academy to log in. Anything that you purchase here, if it is your first time, oh, that's what it is. We're going to have another pricing therapy session. If this is your first time ever enrolling in a class, once you put this in your cart and you check out, it will automatically create an account for you on the Academy site. You cannot go directly to the Academy site after that and think that you're going to be able to access your dashboard. There is an email that is sent from the Academy site host, which is Thinkific for me. And it'll say like express sign up or something like that. That is where you set your password. If you just go to my Academy site and you put in your email address and you put in a password, it's going to say, I don't know what the heck that is because it really doesn't have a password attached to it. If you try to do forgot password, you're not going to get an email back. You have to go and look for the email, check your spam, check your all mail. You have to go there and go through the express sign up express sign up, I think is what it says, email. And that is where you're going to set your password and then it will direct you to the site. Also, please ensure that you are using the same email address that you use on the shop site. If you go to the Academy site and you just put in a random or put in a different email address, it's not going to work. If you have a certain email address that's attached to your PayPal or attached to like your shop pay, but that's not the email address that you wanted to use, make sure that you create an account on the shop site first so that it keeps and maintains that email. If you just kind of come on and you do an order and you decide like you want to use PayPal, if your PayPal email address is not the one that you currently use, that's what it's going to set your account up with. It's going to set it up with that email address. So make sure you create an account first. You can also create an account before you purchase any class. It is absolutely free to make an account on 365 Creative Academy. There's actually some free resources over there. So you can create the account, and then anytime you purchase something from over here, as long as it's the same email address, it will be on your dashboard. But these are all of the classes that we currently have. Just keep hitting more. Oh, I need to take this one off. But that's everything that is currently still available on the shop site. Yes, it is the same exact link, but you still have to register. So because the new classes were not on there, you'll have these, like the first one that's there, click on it, and then it's going to show you the next 3 sessions, today, next week, and the 25th, 24th, or something like that. And you're going to have to check that I want to register. Like you need to register for each session. So go to your dashboard, click on it. It's going to say join the Zoom, but it's just going to take you to the registration screen, and then you just register for them. Okay. That's fine with me. That gives me time to get my coins together because I will be in at least one of those classes. All right, cool beans. Yeah. So now if you registered last week, like I said, it's technically still a new registration for this week and the next 2 weeks. It's the same. So it is still the same Zoom, but I think when you try and go on there, it's probably going to tell you to register again. Because I like to see on my side how many people are attending each session, because we do have a limited number of spots. But definitely check them out. And we do have some new things, some new a la carte classes coming up. If you have any suggestion for classes that you would like to take with the professor, it's a different experience. Like I said, it allows you to ask your questions in real time. If it's something design wise, you get to share your screen. I do provide, and I know it may seem like I'm very detailed in these videos, but if you pay attention, I'm really detailed about the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again. One, y'all don't really ask good questions. I'm sorry. Y'all don't be asking the good questions to get the good answers. And two, I don't prepare a lesson plan like really for stuff like this. If it's something like just basic, like a simple design or whatever, or I'm doing a demo of something with our paper, the longer I stay on, the more people can find out about us, and I'm highlighting the paper. But as far as like really learning, there's nothing like a professor class. I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. All right. Yeah, so Photoshop, essentials to Photoshop definitely goes over all of the major things, understanding your smart objects, layer mask, layer styles, content aware fill, brushes, like making your own custom brushes, setups, artboards, things like that. All of that is in Photoshop Essentials. Okay. All right, y'all. I am out of here. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.